Scaling to 500 million, 1 billion pages. 10.1. Why this is feasible. Scaling to hundreds of millions of pages is feasible for Qeeebo because the platform's runtime system is not a web application in the traditional sense. It is a static publishing pipeline whose outputs are immutable files served by a CDN. The core reason this scales is that the two dominant sources of nonlinear cost in large content systems, databases and runtime compute, are removed from the serving path. Once a page is generated, it is just a file. It can be cached, compressed, and served repeatedly with essentially no additional infrastructure cost per request. A concrete way to understand feasibility is to look at storage and transfer requirements. If Qeeebo pages average roughly 10 to 20 kilobytes uncompressed HTML, they typically compress to around 4 to 8 kilobytes with Brotli/gzip, often 70 to 90% reduction for HTML. That means 500 million pages times only 6 kilobytes compressed is approximately 3.0 terabytes of compressed HTML payload. 1 billion pages times 6 kilobytes compressed is approximately 6 terabytes of compressed HTML payload. Even if you assume larger pages, say 10 kilobytes compressed on average, you're still talking about 500 million pages is approximately 5 terabytes. 1 billion pages is 10 terabytes. Those numbers are large, but they are firmly in the range where object storage and CDN architectures remain economically sane, especially compared to the alternative, massive databases, runtime clusters, and search services. What normally breaks at this scale, and why Qeeebo doesn't hit it. Systems usually break beyond 100 million pages due to databases, sharding, replication, index bloat, query planning. Runtime compute, autoscaling, cold starts, caching stampedes. Centralized indexing, full rebuilds, reindex downtime, massive RAM requirements. Qeeebo avoids these failure modes because none of them are required at runtime. Growth does not force architectural redesign. It forces only more build throughput and more storage. Key scale enablers in Qeeebo's design. Pages are immutable static HTML artifacts, no runtime rendering. CDN edge caching plus compression reduces latency and bandwidth costs. Search is pre-computed and sharded by deterministic prefixes, append only. Segment-based processing isolates failures and enables continuous growth. No wholesale reindexing requirement, which eliminates downtime risk. The practical conclusion is that Qeeebo's target scale, 500 million to 1 billion pages, is not achieved by bigger servers. It is achieved by removing servers from the runtime problem and treating the site as a compiled, globally cached corpus whose operating costs scale linearly and predictably.